Hello everyone and welcome. Have you been struggling with an electric or pneumatic nailer stapler to do your carpentry projects? Well, this tool promises to help you regain your freedom from the entanglement of cords or air hoses. Today we'll be looking at this cordless nailer stapler from Kimo. Break free from the noise of compressors and the entanglement of cords or air hoses with a battery-powered 20-volt nailer stapler. Two tools in one, so you get more bang for your buck. Now, a few years back, I purchased and did a review of a Harbor Freight pneumatic nailer stapler. This tool promises to be more versatile, less restrictive, and has a lot more features than that old pneumatic nailer stapler, so let's get into it. But before we do that, if you enjoy watching honest tool and product reviews, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you get notified every time I produce a new product or tool review video. So let's see what we have here. Let me open this puppy up and we'll see what we get. There's the owner's manual, and I suggest you read through that for safety and so forth. Okay, so when you unbox this bad boy, this is what you get. You get the nailer stapler, you get the battery, which is a 2 amp hour 20 volt battery. You get the charger, you get 700 nails, and 300 staples, plus an Allen key to undo jams in case you jam up at some point, and a cool bag to keep everything in when you're not using it. And that's one of the things that I really like about Kimo, is that it brings pretty much everything in the case just ready to get started. You don't need to run out to the store to get anything like a battery, a charger, accessories for the tool, anything. It comes ready to pull out of the box, charge it up, and get ready to use it. Very convenient. I like that. Now, this is available on Amazon, link in description below, and it retails at the time of this video for $179.99, but there currently is a $25 discount coupon on their Amazon page, so you can use that to get yourself a good discount. This tool comes with a 2-year warranty, and if you register it, you get an additional 6 months of warranty free of charge. So you get 2.5 years of warranty on this tool right here. So let's move all this stuff around and let me give you a better view of everything. All right, so this guy is an 18 gauge nailer stapler. So it does the job of 2 tools in one. So if you've been using a separate nailer and stapler to do your carpentry projects, now you don't have to. This one tool will do the job of the other two all in one. Very convenient, less clutter in your workshop. So it uses 18 gauge nails anywhere from 3/4 inch to 2 inches and 18 gauge staples from 3/4 inches to 1 5/8 inches. Now the dimensions on this unit are very compact. You're talking 10.5 inches in height, 3¼ inches in width, and 10 inches in length. So it's fairly compact. It also only weighs 6 pounds, which is very convenient if you're working up on a ladder or something like that. You can't put this down. It has a built-in belt clip. You know this isn't going to pull your pants down. You can just hang it on your belt clip and leave it there until you need it again, pull it back out, and keep on working. It has very convenient built-in LEDs here on the front, which I'll light them up for you in just a moment. And that helps to light up your area if you're working in a dark situation. This helps to light up your work surface. And since it's on both sides of the head, regardless of from which side you're working, you can still see what you're doing. It also has an adjustable nail depth guide right here, or knob. And you can control the depth of how far you want to drive the nail or the staple right at your fingertips. Some of the other projects, like the pneumatic one that I have from Harbor Freight, you need to control the pressure at the regulator to be able to control how far or how deep the nail or staple goes in. This one is right here at your fingertips. On the fly, you can change it anytime you want. If it didn't go far enough or went too far, adjust it and keep on going. Now this guy also has sequential or bump nailing modes. This switch right here, you can switch it back and forth, and it tells you the different settings right there between sequential or bump mode. I remember some people asking me when I did the Harbor Freight one if it had bump mode, and it did not. Not all of these will have bump mode. This one does, so that's very convenient. And in case you don't know what I'm talking about, sequential means every time you pull the trigger, it will drive a nail. Bump mode means every time you press down on this, it will drive a nail. And I'm sure you've seen people do that in framing and roofing, things like that, where all they do is like bump, 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 and they keep on going. That's very convenient for some people under some circumstances. So you know this tool has that in case it's convenient for you. The nailing rate at The bump mode is 80 nails per minute, so that puts out quite a bit of nails right there. And on a fully charged 2 amp hour battery, this will put out 700 nails. Okay, so we're back. So I took a little bit of time to charge up the battery. As you can see now, we have a fully charged up battery, so we're ready to go and do some nailing in just a couple of minutes. But before we do that, let me just point out, the rapid charger did live up to what it promised. It charged up the battery in about an hour, which is what it's supposed to do. So that's a good thing right there. So let me show you, like we were saying before, as far as the LED goes, all you have to do is, when you're ready to start nailing, slide up the battery on the back here. And as you can see, the LEDs light up. And you can see very good there how the LEDs will light up your work area. And they stay on for a while, and then they'll eventually turn off. So the LEDs will light up your work area regardless if you're looking at it from the right or from the left. Either way, you can work on any substrate, any angle, any area, and you'll be properly lit up so you can see where you're putting the nail in. So that's very convenient right there. Back here also, this LED here is to give you information about what's going on inside the tray. If you have a jam up, or the nails aren't set up properly in there, or you're running low on nails or getting empty, whatever the case may be, there's a legend right here that explains everything for you. This will tell you what's going on inside there. Another convenient feature is that this little window right here is orange when it is turning empty, but when you have nails inside there, it will go blank because the physical indicator will slide back when the nails are present inside the tray. So let me take off the battery. And let me give you a demonstration how to put the nails in here, because I know someone is going to be curious and ask, how do you do that? To open up the tray, very simple. You have a little latch right back here. Release the latch, slide it out, and you can put in the nails. So as far as the way the nails go, the bottom of the nails, this is the bottom right here. This is the head of the nail. The nails need to rest on the bottom tray right there. So towards the bottom, as you can see, that's the way the nails go in. Slide it shut, and you're ready to start nailing. That's the nails. The staples are a little bit different, so let me show you that. All right, for putting in the staples, it is a similar procedure. Open up the tray, and what you're going to do is grab the staples, and as you can see, the top part of the staples up here needs to rest against the top part of the tray. So you put it in there, make sure they're resting towards the top part of the tray, and then it will close properly. I'll show you how it won't close otherwise. So you put them towards the top of the tray, slide it shut, you're ready to start nailing. Now, if you don't do it like that, let me show you. And also, let me show you, see how this will turn blank? And when it's empty, it turns orange. Now, if you take the staples and you slide them towards the bottom, it will not shut properly. So keep that in mind. They cannot rest on the bottom. Only the nails can do that, because the way the tray is set up inside here, it needs it to be in a different position. So if you put them at the bottom, it won't close. So move them up towards the top, problem solved. Keep that in mind. So let's do some testing and see how this puppy performs. Okay guys, so what I've done is I've set up a particle board base here that I'm going to be nailing into, and I have 3 different types of boards that I'm going to be using for testing right now. Now today all I'm going to do is test this unit, see how it works, and get acquainted with it, and show you guys how it works as well. But in the future, you're going to be seeing me using this a lot more in different DIY projects that I will tackle. So today is just an intro for the tool, but get ready, you're going to see a lot more use out of it in the future. So what we have here is I have some trim pieces, and this one is MDF. We're going to try a few different things. So we have a little trim piece here, MDF, another trim piece here. This one is pine or Doug fir, but it's real wood. And then this one, which again is a flat piece of maybe a 1x2, and it's probably Doug fir, pine, something like that. A greater thickness to it than the other ones. As you can see, the other ones are trim pieces, so they vary in thickness. You can see right there. So we're going to nail through these, nail it onto this board right here, and see exactly how the tool performs. So let's go through one at a time and see what it can do. Alright, so I have the nailer set up to contact nailing, not bump mode, because I don't want it to go off every time I bump something. And what I'm going to do is, let's put these two together right here. Since they're already mitered, these are scrap pieces from other projects I've done in the past. And I'll show you basically how convenient this is, since we have a miter right there. if you're putting some trim pieces together. This is a perfect example of what you would be doing with this nailer. So holding this one in place, holding the two, and let's put it down. And I'm not going to be very precise as to I'm not going to try to make it beautiful. Let's put it that way. I'm just going to nail it. So let's see, put this down. And as you see, the minute you press it down, the LEDs go on. So they turn on when you need them. You don't even need to press the trigger, because obviously that will drive the nail. So let's put this baby down. And there you go. And you see how well it performed going through that. No problem at all. And there you can see how well it put in all the nails, but I think I'm driving it a little too deep. So let's back it up a little bit. And you use the knob here. I'm going to back it up a little bit so it doesn't make that much of a divot right there on the surface. Let's try a different level. Still a little too much. Let's bring it up. A little less, looking better. Depends on the consistency of the wood, obviously how much pressure you want to apply. And that is pretty much perfect as far as going through pine. It did not leave a divot on that whatsoever. So you see, you can change the pressure right as you go on the fly. Well, now let's try this one over here. This is the MDF. Let's see how this one performs. And see, on this one, it is sticking up a little bit, so we want a little more depth to it because this material is different from that one. A little more. And that's perfect right there. So you can adjust, if you're changing materials, you can adjust it on the fly. Actually got a little too much over there. I put a little too much pressure on it. You can just take it off and go back to where you were. And there you go. That's perfect. So as you need to, you can change it. Obviously, when you're doing a project and you want a nice finish to it, test it out first on some scrap material before you go to the finished job. And these are pretty much stuck in place. I cannot even remove them. Wow, that is really nailed in there nice and tight. Now let me show you the bump mode. And with this, you have to hold the trigger down for it to do it. So let's see how it does. There you go, that's bump mode. And obviously a little too much pressure, but I wasn't trying to make it pretty. I was just showing you bump mode. There we go. Now let's try this other board, which is much thicker, and we'll see how that performs. And that's perfect. It went right through it. Perfect, no problem at all. Maybe I'll take a little bit of pressure off. Yep, that is very nice right there. Very nice finish to it. Very good. Let's switch over and do some staples. All right, I switched over. I have some staples in here now. As you can see, these are the staples in there. There we go. Now let's see what that does. That's a little bit too high. I need more pressure for the staple. Still a bit too high. The staples need a little bit more because you have two surfaces driving into the piece of wood. A little bit better. Almost down. Almost. A little more. And we're all the way to the bottom. This takes a little, this is a thick piece of wood there, so it's going to take a little bit more to drive those all the way in. Okay guys, and if you're curious as to how the nailer performed, this is the board. I just turned it over to the other side and you can see the nails popping through. They went all the way through the moldings and through the other side of the board. So that shows you right there, it popped all the way right through. These are probably the staples. They went a little less depth to it, or some nails that had less depth. I'll turn it over in a minute. Here's that board. I had to break it and cut it off to show you. I nailed it on the top side there. There's the bottom side. How you can see it went all the way right through it. So that's the power of the nailer. It drives it right through a thick piece of board like that. Generally, I don't think it's recommended to use something this thick with that machine, but I could be wrong. Anyway, I just decided to test it out with different thicknesses to see how it would perform. And there you have it. Let me turn this one over and you'll see what I'm talking about. You can see this is the other side. I basically had to rip that off because I couldn't get it to come off no matter what I did. So you can see that right there, all the different boards nailed onto there all over the place. Okay guys, some final thoughts on the Kimo 20V nailer stapler. It seems like a very good machine. It eliminates the need for a long electrical cord or the use of an air hose and a noisy, cumbersome compressor. It allows you to get into hard to reach areas, work upside down and in tight spaces. It lights up your work area with the convenient onboard LED lights, and it brings everything you need to get started already in the box. So what would you use this tool for? Well, it's great for all sorts of finished woodworking like trim work, building furniture, cabinets, DIY projects, etc. So if you're tired of having to deal with the noise and bother of a compressor and an air hose, give this Kimo 20V cordless nailer stapler a try and see if it works for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye for now.